There's quite a few things to do with sustainable transport. One of my favorites is one of people's biggest concerns with hybrid and electric cars is range anxiety. So people think that if you are driving an electric car, you're going to get stuck in the middle of nowhere because you have nowhere to charge it. And there have been lots of projects set up around converting old phone booths, so the iconic British red phone booth, turning those into electric points because they already have the infrastructure because it was connected to phone and had energy. So looking at different ways of encouraging people that it is possible for people to be driving better cars, and the infrastructure is getting put into place in really creative ways as well, like the old phone booths. We like seeing what innovations and prototypes some people have come up with. For example, there's one which is, we saw a complete prototype, but it's in China, and it looks almost like, it's hard to explain, but cars can drive under it, and it looks like almost like a ship that kind of runs along the side of the highway. There's passengers and commuters on top of it, and cars go through it. So even if there's a traffic jam, this kind of bridge thing lets people go by and under. We like looking at innovations like that and think, oh wow, that's really clever. And yes, it's only a prototype, but in 2025, you might have engineers, the designers, who come up with these things and then put them into practice to see how they would work in an area. And this applies too with different car sharing schemes. So in the UK, there's something called Whip Car, which lets you borrow your neighbor's car. And before, you wouldn't think that's something that would necessarily be safe, possible, things that people would do. But now as people are starting to think more about limited resources, and it doesn't really make sense to own a car that you drive maybe once a week, that if you share it with your neighbors, you get some extra pocket money, they don't have to buy a car, and it's just more efficient. I know there's an example in Holland where they installed slides at the train stations, so people could slide. They hop on a slide, and they end up onto their platform. Not actually right on the platform, because that's dangerous, but you know what I mean? It becomes something that you want to commute because you want to get on the slide because it's making it really fun. There's lots of different apps and kind of startups around what happens on public transport and how you meet people. One of them I think is called Submate, and I think it's Paris-based, but it's it matches commuters who take the same kind of journey who want to chat to each other. And that's another way it's making the commute a bit more delightful than just hopping on a train, putting in your earphones, reading your newspaper.